In the beginning, there was nothing. Then there were monkeys, then people, and then there were people who made movies about people and monkeys. One of the best cinematic franchises of all time. Planet of the Apes is up there with Indiana Jones and Star Wars with one of the few franchises Hollywood keeps bringing back. Sometimes with impeccable success, and sometimes with this guy. Beginning in 1968, imagine you finished 1967's The Graduate, and who can forget the Disney classic? Real film, look it up. And you're just wishing with your fingers crossed that someone would make a movie about your favorite French author, Pierre Boulle's book, La Planète des Singes. And that's when you see it. Planet of the Apes set out to realize the fantasy science fiction world in which humans and intelligent apes clash for control as a way to comment on the failings of human nature and mankind's over-reliance on technology. And to realize this fictional story, they hired two makeup effects supervisors, John Chambers and Thomas Burman, who sought to push the boundaries of what fantasy and science fiction stories could look like, creating a fantasy world of a scale that no one had seen before to a quality and scale that was unbelievable. And what could have become yet another science fiction movie suddenly gained film notoriety, predominantly through its casting of well-known actors such as Charlton Heston in the leading human role, and Roddy McDowall and Academy Award winner Kim Hunter as leading apes. However, with such stars involved in the project, the filmmakers' main aim focused on making sure the makeup and prosthetics didn't hide their big-name actors or their fantastic performances. The amount of prosthetics used to this level was never seen before, and some actors even dropped out because of it. One example that's known was the character of Dr. Zaius was initially supposed to be played by the actor Edward G. Robinson. However, once he learned precisely what went into making the character's appearance, he backed out. Which, to be fair to actors, this stuff takes a long time. Waking up at 3 a.m. to sit in a makeup chair for 7 hours and to then have to work for another 12 while covered in paint and prosthetics. It's tough, and we see it even today, where the more sway an actor has, the less they're gonna choose to be in the makeup chair voluntarily. But for those actors who do, goddamn, it can look good. And it all started here, with Planet of the Apes, filmed in real desert locations around California, Utah, and Arizona. Costume designer John Chambers was determined to push the limits of prosthetics in order to bring a sense of real emotive performances to the 8 characters in the film. This sense of attempting to portray realism was pretty new to Hollywood, with most films leaning more towards a more theatrical, heightened portrayal of stories, both in their performances and presentation. Costume materials included, but were not limited to, foam and spirit gum, which were relatively inexpensive and easy to hold and applied to the actors' faces with glue. Applying the prosthetics in sections that matched the anatomy and allowed for natural face movement created a nuance of performance that could be captured on film. And that attention to detail and facial performance clearly paid off, because audiences bought into the story, and they bought into it big. The film was so successful that it was reported that moviegoers lined up for blocks and grosses claimed it smashed all opening day marks. People loved it so much that 20th Century Fox made not 1, not 2, no, not even 3, but 4 sequels to the original film. Techniques improved, prosthetics got better, and it's all thanks to these films. And in 2001, Hollywood did what Hollywood does. They had a property people loved that reliably got them money. The film was bad, it's forgotten by most, and was critically panned for its confusing plot, an ending that felt like it was trying to one-up the twist of the original, and people were surprised. Effects-wise, it used all the best prosthetics of the time. It built on and perfected the techniques used in the original and was overseen by Rick Baker, Academy Award winner for Best Makeup, the guy who gave us this. And even this, so why did people not care? This film didn't even get an award for costume or makeup, because audience standards are a lot higher and the competition is a lot stronger. A lot has happened since 1973. Terminator, Jurassic Park, Star Wars, I mean, just look at the films that came out around 2000 and one itself you're telling me you'd turn down. Films with some of the best CGI, visual effects, costuming, and makeup that are still revered today as some of the best that movies that ever had to offer. Harry Potter, Lord of the Rings, Gladiator, Star Wars. You could go see all of that, and instead you choose to go see this? Times had changed, and that strong vision of pushing the boundaries of visual effects to create a story and performances that didn't hide the actor's talents was lost. But wait, did you say using effects to heighten an actor's performance rather than distract from it while creating fantastical characters with visual effects that suspend an audience's disbelief and help to create an immersive fictional story that sounds a lot like. When you talk about motion capture, you can't not talk about the GOAT Andy Serkis, one of my personal favorite actors of all time and being one of the first actors to pioneer the use of motion capture with his portrayal of Gollum in Lord of the Rings. When the Hollywood machine rolled around again, ready to fire up a remake, prequel, sequel, and realizing they need to match audiences' expectations and standards for visual effects in movies, they needed to call the legend himself, and I mean the performance says it all. With Weta Digital at the helm of crafting the visual effects that still hold up today thanks to the use of modern motion capture technology built off the experience of the Lord of the Rings trilogy and pioneering it further with every film in the trilogy. They were able to craft a character with more humanity and relatability than most films can do with people who are actually real. It's a testament both to Andy Serkis and each of the artists and technical supervisors who helped craft this fantastic performance. Caesar is one of my favorite characters in fiction hands down, and his character being realized to such fantastic effect is solely possible because of the filmmaker's focus on the same that John Chambers had when working on the visual effects all those years ago. No! To let the effects be so good they become unnoticeable, and to allow the performances no matter how big or subtle to shine through. This is how they were able to make realistic characters with CGI. By using the same vision with new visual effects technology, they were able to show all the details of the actors' performances. Love, loss, joy, anger, pride, it's all there. If Planet of the Apes is a comment of humanity, then Caesar shows what it means to be human. With practical sets and motion capture technology providing believable weight and realism to the fantastical concepts and visual effects, it allows audiences the suspension of disbelief and enjoy the film and its performances. And oh my god, the acting in this film, just do me and yourself a favor and rewatch it because it's just incredible, and I'm so happy people are going back and recognizing how good these performances really were. And it all wouldn't work if it wasn't for Weta Digital,
the Planet of the Apes franchise,
Andy Serkis, and the legendary character of. So with the Hollywood machine ready to release its next Planet of the Apes movie, and with the bar for visual effects and audiences' standards going up as they should, Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes has some high standards to reach. But will it reach the visual effects standard we've seen in previous films? Can it match the level of character depth that we've seen with Andy Serkis' Caesar? Maybe. It's not released yet, but from everything out, and with the little information we have on the behind the scenes, I think it has a good chance to be amazing. The VFX are being made by the best artists at Weta Digital, with Eric Winquist as VFX supervisor, who's worked on all of the previous trilogy of films and Avatar, so it's clear that there's talent involved both in front of and behind the camera. One thing that specifically gives me hope is the director's comments on how they used practical real locations to enhance the believability of the film, and with shots like this. It's clear they're aiming to push the boundaries again on what to expect from the series, and as a fan of the franchise, all you can really say is, what a wonderful day. If you want to learn more about the technology behind motion capture, go watch our video on Gollum. And most of all, we hope you enjoyed the video, and if you liked it, feel free to subscribe for more.